578 asks,
what type of mythological creatures are thought to exist in Korea, and what does Korea have mythology-wise?
Mythology?
Mythology! My English is dying. I've been here for a long
Astrology?
time. My English is barely being put together with words.
Together.
Mythology.
Mythology. First thing I want to say is that a lot of people who don't know about different Asian cultures will always say things like, oh, when I think of Asia, it's dragons.
Dragons everywhere! Interestingly enough, Korea is not that into dragons.
That's right. But they do have a lot of creatures that could be mistaken as dragons if you just kind of look at them.
They kind of look a little dragon-esque, and some people are like, oh, that's a dragon, but it's not. And we're going to tell you what those things are.
First of all, I'm going to say Haetae or Haechi. Haetae makes me laugh because I think, what would you say to Taemin if you saw him?
Haetae.
Haetae, what's up? And you know what he'd say? Stop calling me Rose.
God damn it, Rose. How'd you get my number again? Why do I sound like Simon all of a sudden?
The Haetae or the Haechi is actually now the official symbol of Seoul. So I think it was like 2008 or 2009.
Yep.
They were like, we need to have some adorable cartoon creature to sell things to people.
So let's make it this big ugly dog.
That's shablamo. This big ugly dog, unicorn, lion.
Because it's got horns on its head. Not gigantic horns like a unicorn, because when I first read the description.
Like a unicorn?
Unicorn.
You said unicorn.
I said unicorn. You're just deaf, that's all. Gigantic horns like a unicorn. Horns like a unicorn. Unicorn. But when I first heard that it has horns on its head, I thought like I have a giant one, but it's just like little horns on its head.
But most of the Haechi that I've seen in Korea don't have horns at all. Like they're very rounded looking. Like it's kind of like this kind of oval looking shape. And those are the statues that I always stop and say, it's a Spudgy dog.
It looks like a Spudgy.
Yeah, remember when I went to Gyeongbok Palace and they were all the Haechi outside there?
And also when we went for the best bibimbap in Korea, they also had the little Spudgy dog there too.
They have this giant weird like Wario, as in from like Mario and Luigi and then Wario.
How dare you use Japanese mythological characters when you're talking about Korea?
Thousands of years from now, people will unearth Japan and say...
They will unearth Japan because Japan will be covered in what?
I'm saying if like the earth was like, everyone goes into Ice Age and then people are like digging. So when they come to Japan, they're like, they worship these as their creatures.
These Italian plumbers are so important to Japan mythology.
Why are they Italian?
It's to me, Mario. It's the Italian accent.
So, wait a second. They're supposed to be... The Haetes are supposed to be like the symbols of justice. So supposedly, they're like the Batmans of Korea. So essentially, if you are not a righteous person or you've done something wrong or you're lying, they will judge you using their horn.
The horn of judgment.
The horn of judgment. And then punish you using the horn. If you are a liar. They're also supposed to protect against things like natural disasters and specifically fire. So that's why you see outside of the presidential like house, you'll see them there. So it's supposed to guard enemies or things from going wrong.
The second most popular one, or probably the most popular one for you if you've been watching K-dramas, is the Gumiho.
Or as Simon says it.
The Gumiho. It's a Gumiho.
So 2010 was the My Girlfriend is a Gumiho drama, and it was with Lee Seung-gi and Shin Mina. She's one of my favorite actresses. She was the one in Naked Kitchen, the movie I told you about where she has sex behind a curtain inside of an art gallery, and I was like, what?
In fact, very interestingly, if you're a Marvel nerd, they're about to have their first Korean Avenger who takes on the power of the Gumiho in order to use their abilities.
Are you making this up?
No, I'm dead serious.
Really?
I was reading this on Marvel. I forget the name of the character, but it's going to be the first Korean superhero on the Avengers.
That's so cool. So the Gumiho, oh Simon, you
donkey.
The Gumiho has 9 tails, and they're actually supposed to be evil creatures that try to eat your heart and liver. You could find Gumihos hanging around like graveyards and burial sites because they would dig people up and eat them apparently.
But the Gumihos are very misunderstood. They're trying to find a boyfriend, and they're supposed to date them for 100 days.
Oh my god.
And if they date them for 100 days, that makes them more human-like. And the reason why they wind up eating livers, like especially at like street food stands, is because livers are believed to be where you possess your soul and your humanity. So they just really want to be more human-like. They're not trying to like murder people, they just aspire towards humanity.
Also, the Gumiho are never ugly. That's a key. So it's not like you're like,
hey boys, like a ha ha ha, come here, date me for 100 days, big boy. Yeah.
It's not like that. So they're supposed to be beautiful, kind of like a mermaid or a siren to like seduce people. So they're not gonna actually have like ugly girls or
no ugly Gumihos up in this.
I also heard the second part of that myth is if they abstain from eating for 1,000 days, then they also can turn into a human.
Yeah.
So there's either like,
but 1,000-day diet, screw that.
I don't know. Might as well just find a boyfriend and date them.
Yep,
You're
100
like,
days,
yeah.
all you need. Speaking of shitty diets, we're gonna talk next about the Umya,
Oh, that name is so hard to say.
also known as the bear woman.
Which is easier. Let's go with bear woman.
Yes.
We don't mean naked, B-A-R-E.
No,
we
like
mean
the bear
I'm
as
a
a-
bear.
I gotta get you, bear, that kind of bear.
Okay. So this myth actually comes from the creation story of how Korea came to be. So Simon, tell me about this bear woman.
A bear and a rabbit
No.
are taking a shit in the woods. And the bear turns to the rabbit and says, "Hey, Mr. Rabbit, do you ever get any shit stuck in your fur?" And the rabbit says, "Why, no, I don't." So then the bear wiped his ass with the rabbit. The end.
Hwa Nyang, aka Supreme Divine Regent.
What?
Best rap name ever. Also the son of the King of Heaven. Was all like, Dad, heaven's like really boring and stuff. So he ended up coming down to Earth, and while he was on Earth, there was a tiger and a bear
In the woods.
in the woods, and they really, really wanted to be human.
So then this jerk winds up saying, "Hey, here's 20 cloves of garlic and a bushel of mugwort. Basically enough for a potion in Harry Potter. Eat nothing but that for 100 days and then I'll turn you into a human." Which I want to say, this is a bear and a tiger. That's not even an appetizer for the meal they're supposed to have.
Do they even, are they even herbivores to begin with?
No, they eat other animals. That's what bears and tigers do. How fair is that? That's rude. You're a jerk, Prince of the Heavens. So then the tiger realizes how much of a stupid deal this is. So after a short time he leaves, but then after 21 days, the bear, who is very patient, winds up being transformed into a woman.
A beautiful woman.
A beautiful, no, not no ugly woman.
No. So she turns into this beautiful woman, but then she's really like lonely because there's like no one around. And so she prays again, and he's all like, "Hey, you're pretty hot, bear woman.
Whoa, I did a good job
Hey.
here. Starving you on this ridiculous diet.
You're like so thin and hot. Oh
my
God. The two of them get together, and he gives her a child, which basically means
Yes. And then thus the foundation of Korea was born.
yeah. So that song
Off
goes
of this
on.
ridiculous diet and
Yeah.
obscene standards for women.
Okay, well, a woman bear.
Yes.
So then technically, isn't every Korean a descendant of a bear?
Yes.
Do you think when that woman gets mad,
You're
you do not
all
want to screw with her?
unbearable.
You got some more in you?
Koreans barely know their history. I like how Koreans are bearing witness to this video.
So we're going to talk about more creatures in our blog post, including a really cool one that I just recently found out, which was, you guys know the Korean national teams, like especially the soccer one, they have the red devil, and it has like this picture of something that maybe you thought was a devil or a dragon, but it's not, and we'll tell you what that is in the blog post.
So make sure you click on the link here if you want to read more about Korean mythological creatures.
I like the seaweed one, which we'll talk about in our blog post as well.
Yeah.
Our question for you guys is, what is your mythological creature background in your country? I know that a lot of like Chinese, Japanese, Korean mythological creatures kind of have
Overlap and a
similarities.
little bit of mixing.
Yeah, there's some kind of like Gumiho in China as well, but I am not sure. Let us know in the comment section below. Also, I can't even think if there's a Canadian one, can you?
Yeah, there is. There's a very important myth.
Sasquatch?
No, it is a bear and a beaver
Okay, no.
are taking a shit in the woods.
I'm sorry.
And the bear turns to the beaver and he says, "Excuse me, Mr. Beaver, do you ever have the issue of shit sticking to your fur?"
And he said, no, because I don't have fur. I have waterproof little spiky gill thingies, and you don't know your animals.
So then the bear wiped his ass with the beaver.
The beaver beat him with his giant beaver tail.